This is the Miele Guard M1. It's a brand new model, and if you are looking for a bagged canister vacuum cleaner, watch this video. It'll tell you everything you need to know. Now let's figure out if this is a right model for you. And the way we figure that out, first and foremost, is by looking at what type of floor head it comes with, because then we can decide which application it's best suited for. And the Guard M1, which is the base model in the M lineup, comes with one floor head, which is a combination floor tool. A combination floor tool is a very popular type of floor head across pretty much all Miele models. The reason people like this is because it allows you to vacuum bare floors, hardwood, ceramic, laminate, as well as rugs, flat rugs and carpets, without having to stop and change the floor head. There is a pedal here on the brush itself that allows you to switch between the two settings, so you don't have to change floor heads from one surface to another, and that's why it's a popular attachment. So who is this model good for? You're looking for an extremely powerful, German-made, bagged canister vacuum, and you have mostly bare floors. If you have rugs and carpets, they're flat, low-pile carpets. This would be a perfect model for you. What we just learned, the combo tool is the floor head and the one floor head that you get with the Guard M1. But how about accessory tools? Well, the M1, it does come with the 3 accessory tools stored right on the body. They're hidden right here, so you push that little button there. It's not even a button. You push that indentation and the cover comes off. You have 3 standard accessory tools, a crevice tool, upholstery tool, and a dusting brush for all your above floor surfaces. Now keep in mind, you could use these accessory tools either at the end of the handle or at the end of this metal wand right here. So to get into ceiling corners or just generally harder to reach areas, that would not be a problem. That's pretty straightforward. Now, the Miele Guard M1 is the successor to the Miele C3 models, the flagship models that have been extremely popular for a decade now in the Miele lineup. Now, what made the C3 as popular as it was a very powerful vacuum, very lightweight and easy to use, but had a ton of good features. Now, the Miele Guard M1 gets all of those features from the C3 into this new model, and a couple of improvements as well. Just to go over it, yes, it's a beautifully designed vacuum, but again, it's very similar to the old C3s, so there's not a huge design improvement there. But some of those designs transferred. One is where all the connections are secured, they lock into place. So every component, which by the way, you will see as soon as you take out of the box, every single component is quality made. All these components lock into each other. So we don't have an issue with things coming off, wearing out in the vacuum's lifetime. You also get a very lightweight, crush-proof, king-free hose. I don't think I've ever seen a tear in one of these hoses before. These are the same hoses that they used on the C3s. And this particular model gets what we call a banana handle. That's their basic handle. You get a very nice long telescopic wand and the floor head that locks into the wand. Again, the floor head locks into the wand locks into the handle, and the handle locks into the hose. So that's really nice. But all of this is good. You also get parking spots, by the way. You get a parking spot on each side here, and also one at the front. And why is that a good idea? Well, 2 things. One is for storage, if you wanted to store the vacuum in a more smaller closet or whatever. Also, if you wanted to take the vacuum up or down the stairs, that's what these parking spots come in handy. Also, one at the front of the machine, which is very handy if you're vacuuming and then you have to pause for whatever reason. Just leave that there, go do your thing, come back, get more wine, coffee, whatever day you're having, and come back, and you don't have to lean this against the wall and it won't scratch your wall. So that's the parking spot there. Well, that stuff is good as well. But since we're talking about design, let's address one of the biggest changes that Miele has made in the M1 from the C3. Some of the C3 models, the predecessor to the M1, had an issue with the bag holder and the way the bag wasn't being seated properly on the holder, which then sometimes would allow the dirt to escape the vacuum and can cause a mess. Not anymore. Miele has spent quite a good amount of time redesigning the bag collar and the bag holder in a way that it's still very easy to take the bag out and insert the bag into the place, but also you will then not have any oopsies. This bag holder is going to hold the bag, no dirt's going to come out, and therefore no mess to deal with. All of that, put in a very powerful motor and a suction setting control at the front, and you have a very beautifully designed machine. Now, one of the reasons you're looking at a bagged vacuum is probably because you've learned they are much better when it comes to filtration. The same thing happens with the Guard M1. We've already talked about the bag. The bag system has been improved with this model, but the bag quality itself helps a lot with that filtration, because the whole idea with these machines being so good in filtration starts with a really good quality cloth bag, not just some paper bag that would tear once in a while. You have a filter before the motor, and you have a filter where the air is exhausted out of the machine, and you have a fourth filter here. So you have a series of filters where the air carrying the dust goes through. But not only that, this is completely a sealed system. And what that means is the air that's coming out of this machine has been thoroughly cleaned, and you don't then get that smell of the vacuum smell. You don't sneeze after you vacuum, and the dust that you've picked off the floor is all in here, doesn't leave the vacuum. Okay, so it looks beautiful and it's got a great design and it's quality components, but how does it actually work? Does it work on bare floors and rugs and carpets? Well, I have three types of floors here. Bare floors, a flat rug, and a thicker, more plush rug here. Now, this vacuum is really not meant for that, but let's try it and let's see how it does. But let's keep our expectations in check. I'm not sure how much of this coffee you're seeing there, but I'm going to try some sand as well. Now, this is a very tried and tested Miele model. Again, this is the successor to the C3. The C3s have been amazing vacuums. So we kind of know what to expect. The only thing is, how does this floor head do on these types of floors? Now, going back to the combo tool, we have two settings. We have the rug setting. When pushed forwards, the bristles are retracted. You're left with a flat surface to glide over a soft area. And when we get onto the bare floors, push the pedal back, bristles come out. We are on a bare floor. Here's the biggest tip and or trick I can give you. On carpets and rugs, when you're on the carpet setting, you do not want to be on the highest suction setting. This vacuum gets a 1200 watt German motor. Now, that is a lot of suction, and they've given you suction settings to be able to control all that suction. And on the suction settings, you will see that the first one is for curtains, the second one is for rugs. So the second suction from the lowest is the one you're supposed to be using on these rugs. If you use higher suction setting, the floor head just tends to seal itself against the carpet. It's just hard to push back and forth. Then you have wall-to-wall carpets, and then maximum is for bare floors. Not only you have the 4 suction settings to choose there, when you use this, even if you then feel like it's still kind of stuck on the floor and it's not letting you go back and forth easy, you have what we call a bleeder valve on the handle, which allows air to escape. So this also helps with thicker carpets. Okay, so let's get this going on the suction setting. Now let's try it on. You see already on this carpet, it's a more plush carpet. I do feel it's hard to push back and forth. I'm going to open the bleeder valve so it's easier, but let's see if we're going to be able to get this dirt. Yeah. Oh, look, I mean, yes, it's going to clean the carpet. On this guy here, it's a one-pass job, but you see how it's lifting the carpets, and that's why we have suction settings. We can even go lower or open this valve, and then it's done. On bare floors, we're going to switch the setting, and this should be very easy, no problems. Okay. Again, this is all expected. Now, the only hesitation then would be on thicker pile carpets, especially if there's pet hair on thick plush carpets. You might want to consider a vacuum that comes with a dedicated carpet tool. Except for that, if you have mostly bare floors and rugs, this should be more than enough. Now the M1, the Guard M1, is a full-size Miele canister vacuum. It weighs 13 pounds, which is not a lot at all. But here's a point I'd like to make when we're talking about a canister vacuum in comparison to an upright vacuum, for instance, where in an upright vacuum, the weight of the motor and the housing and everything is on your hands and shoulders with every back and forth. In a canister vacuum, the heaviest part, in this case, the motor, the housing and everything sits on the floor, and you don't feel all that weight on your hands and shoulders. You are only dealing with a very lightweight wand and floor head. So that's that. But Miele has been using a caster system. They've been using this for a very long time on all their vacuums, which consists of 3 rubber casters. So they're rubberized, they don't scratch flooring, but also this is the same type of a caster used under a suitcase, which just makes these vacuums extremely nimble and easy to work with. They follow you along, especially in tight areas. These vacuums, as far as weight and maneuverability, you are not going to have an issue with. Now the Miele Guard M1 has a 24-foot cord, which is pretty long, and it gives you a 36-foot operating radius from the wall down to the floor you're vacuuming. That is just really good because you're not constantly looking for an electric outlet. And that was a one-tap rewind. Now the Miele Guard M1 gets one of the best warranties in the business. It's a full 5-year warranty on all the components out of the box, including labor, and a 7-year warranty on the motor. Now we are one of the Miele service and warranty centers. We've been so since 1999. So if you ever had any questions after you purchased the machine, needed service, parts or whatever, we are here and happy to help. Not only that, we ship these free of charge to all Canadian provinces. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee, 90-day price match guarantee. We offer financing. We send you videos on how to use this machine, specifically if this is your first Miele. So you know what to do, and more importantly, what not to do. If I missed anything, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Our toll-free number is 1-877-220-5656. Or you can get on vacuumwarehouse.ca and chat with us there.